This episode may contain content that could be distressing or objectionable to certain listeners. Please refer to the episode show notes for details. Discretion is advised. Hello, listeners! Welcome to Your Movie, My Movie with Dan and Steve.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Steve. This is a podcast where one of us picks a movie to watch and we discuss it together. In this episode, we're talking about one of Dan's picks, the 1999 movie Julien, Donkey Boy. Starring Ewen Bremner, Chloë Sevigny, and Warner Herzog, and was written and directed by Korine. We will be talking about spoilers, so if you want to watch the movie first, now's the time to do so. But before we talk about the movie, Dan, who would you recommend this movie to?
Great question, Steve. I would recommend this movie to anyone who is completely desensitized by movie making in the general sense and who just needs to feel something. And also anyone but Steven.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm sure that it's just not everyone but me. Like, I'm sure there are other people who should not watch this movie besides me, but I am definitely one of those people who should not be watching this movie.
Steven, who would you recommend this movie for?
Well, Daniel, that depends. How harsh can I be to you on this episode? Like, how much hate?
You can be very harsh. It's okay.
How much hate can you handle?
I can handle all the hate. I didn't.
You can handle. Are you sure? Are you sure?
I think so. I will defend this movie, but I
okay.
I can handle it.
Well, in that case, I have three recommendations. Three people. Three types of people. Although I probably would just recommend this to three people. But there are three types of people that I would recommend this movie to. I would recommend, first of all, I would recommend this movie to people who wonder, what a non-punishment movie is it in? Like, what? Like, you told me that this was not a punishment movie. When you told me that it was your pick, you told me that. But so now I'm wondering, like, if you don't think this is a punishment movie, then like, what is your criteria? You know, like what is your criteria for a punishment movie? And also, I want to point out that if you have to tell me that it's not a punishment movie before I watch it, then, my good sir, it is most likely definitely a punishment movie. So that is my first recommendation. My second recommendation is for people who want to watch a movie that will make Womb seem like an Oscar winner by comparison. Like, as I was watching this movie, I was like, you know what? I sure missed Womb. I sure missed that movie. I missed that movie hard. I really, really do. Because at least that movie was, fucking coherent. Like, at least I understand. Like, it was like weird European incest stuff. It was weird European incest stuff, but at least I could understand that it was weird European incest stuff. Okay. So this movie really, really made me miss that movie. and thirdly, and perhaps most importantly of all, I recommend this movie to Sierra so she can divorce your ass before she even marries it. So those, my good sir, are all of my recommendations for this movie.
Oh boy. I gotta catch my breath.
I'm so glad. I am so glad that you find laughter in the pain that you inflict on me, Daniel. I'm so glad that happens to you. I'm so glad my trauma and pain you caused. You did this to me. I'm so glad. I am so glad it brings you laughter and joy.
Oh God.
For this movie it's definitely not a punishment movie.
Okay, I guess I should clarify. This movie would be a punishment movie if I had if the motivation behind choosing this movie was to punish you, which it was not.
Okay.
The motivation for choosing this movie was I just wanted to watch this movie and talk about it. I knew you weren't going to like it, but I wasn't purposefully punishing you with choosing this movie because I was like, Steven's gonna hate this movie.
I understand. You wanted to talk about this movie, but punishing me was just a side benefit of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. I understand, Daniel. I get it.
So, Steven, qualify that how you must, and retribute that how you must. I will accept the consequences, but just know that this was not done out of malice to you.
I understand. I understand. And I actually do have some highbrow things to say about this movie because I know where this movie is coming from, even though I did not enjoy it at all. Which
fun.
We will get to soon, but first, you are gonna have to do your 2-minute summary.
That's fair. Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right, let me get my cool little stopwatch started in a second here.
Okay,
ready?
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Julien is a mentally unwell person, possibly schizophrenic person, who is going through life in his family. It's kind of a picture of his family and him and his environment and the people he hangs out around. He goes to these special needs groups with, blind people and struggling people who are, mentally handicapped in certain ways. His brother wants to be a wrestler, and he's obsessed with wrestling and stuff, and he has an abusive dad, played by Werner Herzog, who is hilarious in this movie in all the wrong ways. He has a sister.
1 minute.
I think her name is Pearl or something like that. Anyways, his sister is like a normal person, kind of, except she's pregnant. And in the end of the movie, we find out she's pregnant with her brother's child. Nasty, but that is how the movie is. And in a terrible accident, she falls while ice skating and hurts the baby,
30 seconds.
And the baby dies. And the father of the baby, also the uncle of the baby, also the brother of the mother, it takes the baby, the dead baby,
15
which
seconds.
they've, taken out of the womb, and like goes home and cries, and that's pretty much the movie, and a whole bunch of
5,
like Catholic
4,
guilt mixed in,
3,
and
2,
terrible
1.
improv.
Hands down. Okay. Okay. Had to relive that trauma for 2 minutes. As I watched this movie last night, and I've already forgotten so much about it, but the feelings of it you brought back. So
yeah, the feeling it. Yeah.
so before we talk about it, I just want to say something.
Okay.
I had a feeling about this movie. So as soon as I started watching it, I started a stopwatch on my iPad so I could tell like how much more of this movie I still needed to watch at any one time. And I'm sure that I made this joke before. But it bears repeating with this one that this movie is like a cinematic black hole in which time is distorted while you're watching it. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'll agree with that.
So why, Daniel, why did you pick this movie to talk about?
Okay. Well, so when it was my turn to pick the movie, I was like, okay, I want to watch a movie that makes me feel something.
Okay.
And I wanted to watch Gummo, which is Harmony Korine's first feature film, which I think you're more likely to enjoy.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't available for streaming.
The maker of Trash Humpers?
Yes, the maker of Trash Humpers,
Really?
Spring Breakers, Beach Bum, and Aggro Drift.
Okay. Okay.
And the writer of Kids, the movie Kids. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that movie, but I've heard a lot about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it gave a start to Chloë Sevigny and Rosario Dawson when they were much too young to have a start in that kind of movie, from what I've heard.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's why I picked it. I was kind of like depressed, and I was like, shit, I just need to like watch something that like feels like something.
Okay.
And it wasn't gonna be like I couldn't do like, because we just watched The Jerk, and I was just like I want to show Steven Harmony Korine because I want to talk about Harmony Korine, and he's kind of like my current special interest filmmaker at the moment in a way.
Okay.
I really like his movies, and I know you're gonna hate me for saying that, but like I just think that he thinks about movies in such an interesting way, and he's a very interesting person to me. And his art is very, very compelling to me.
Mm-hmm. No, I can see how
and I like it.
Like, even though I am not a fan of his movies, I can see why you in particular may be compelled by him as a filmmaker. Because he has a very, I'll call it a very punk style of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because and so let's get started with it. This movie is what is called a Dogma 95 movie. Which is something that only film nerds know about. And what Dogma 95 is a manifesto by the filmmaker Lars von Trier on how to make a certain on how to make how would you say it?
It's like
as
an
I said,
ethos.
well, to take power for the directors as artists as opposed to the movie studio. Like, according to Lars Van Trier, the tenets of Dogma 95 is how artistic movies should be made. And there are 10 tenets that I would like to go through about what makes a Dogma 95 movie. Because this is all relevant to this movie. And number 1, shooting must be done on location. Props and sets must not be brought in. If a particular prop is necessary for the story, a location must be chosen where this prop is to be found. Number 2, the sound must never be produced apart from the images or vice versa. Music must not be used unless it occurs where the scene is being shot. Number 3, the camera must be handheld. Any movement or immobility attainable in the hand is permitted. 4, the film must be in color. Special lighting is not acceptable. If there is too little light for exposure, the scene must be cut or a single lamp must be attached to the camera. Number 5, optical work and filters are forbidden. Number 6, the film must not contain superficial action, such as murders, weapons, or etc. cannot occur. Number 7, temporal and geographical alienation are forbidden. That is to say that the film takes place here and now. 8, genre movies are not acceptable. 9, the film format must be Academy 35mm. And number 10, the director must not be credited. So those are the 10 rules of making a Dogma 95 film. And it was put out as a manifesto, I guess, to like inspire so-called real artistic cinema. And this movie, Julien Donkey Boy, is the first American movie to adhere by those guidelines.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else you want to say about that info dump I just did?
Well, thank you for doing that info dunk, because I looked up those rules a while ago, the first time I watched this movie. And they're interesting. The whole idea of kind of making a guideline rule book for making a certain kind of movie is interesting. You're always talking about limitations in filmmaking, and this is limitations in filmmaking. It's
absolutely.
And it's for a purpose, a philosophical purpose. And I don't know that I mean, what I'll say is, I don't think that every movie should be a Dogma 95 movie. Just
Definitely
putting
not
that out there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because as soon as you put limitations and strictures on how to make a movie, there are going to be exceptions to those that will prove why you don't need those rules. So yeah. It's absolutely good that not every movie is made this way. But if I think these rules are nice, like if you are a film director and you want to challenge yourself, like I think that might be a better way of looking at the Dogma 95 guidelines, more as a challenge, as an artistic challenge, than like anything strict.
Yes. It's just like, it's I like the way you said that. It's a challenge for the filmmaker. It is a way of practicing film as an art form. And it's it's not like this isn't something you do with a commercial project. Like this is specifically a statement about film as an art form,
Right.
which I appreciate, because I agree that film is an art form. It is an art film that is often wrapped up in finance and
Mm-hmm.
you know, money, and as is a lot of art, but film especially because it's very resource heavy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, so I think I appreciate when people treat it as an art form and not as a money making venture.
Mm-hmm.
Which even if you do make money on a movie, it can still be artistic. That's not what I'm saying, but I appreciate the artists who are trying to strive for art, for the for the fact of art by itself. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
Harmony Korine, I appreciate as someone who's, at least in my view, he has tried to um push the envelope and get to a artistic truth or honesty. Um, like, how like you'll read like a novel. It's like a serious um literary, what's it called?
Literary
Um,
fiction.
yeah, like literary fiction. Like this to me is like literary fiction in the form of film, like film version of literary fiction almost. Like it is so blatantly trying to express the self or the point of view, or just like it's just striving to be honest in a way. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate that value. Um and I like that in film and in art in general. That being said, I don't necessarily think Harmony Korine is a good person. I don't know too much about him, other than he did a lot of drugs, and he married someone who's a lot younger than him, and those aren't always great signs of a great person. But um, artistically speaking, I have liked the films of his that I have seen. And I've seen Gummo, I've seen Julien Donkey Boy, and I've seen Spring Breakers, and then a couple of his short films, I think.
Okay.
Um, and I think that those are all eh, culturally influential films.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Gummo and Spring Breakers, which I want to make you watch Spring Breakers eventually, and that one you will like more than this one.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you'll love
It
it, but
well,
yeah.
it's kind of hard not to, but I can certainly understand if I don't.
Yeah,
um.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you just said a whole bunch of things that I kind of like to address. So like I have three things that I
Okay,
wanted to address with everything you said just then.
yeah.
Like you said how you talked about how tough it is to make a movie. And for
Mm-hmm.
those who have never been for those who have never been involved in a movie production, it takes a lot of work to do it properly and a lot of people. Because um you need to find all the actors, you need to find all the crew, you need to find all the people who work behind the scenes to make it happen. Then you have to find locations, then you have to apply to permits for it. And then even when you're at those locations, sometimes you need to get security involved, just so bystanders and people on the street, if it's in a public location, don't go where they shouldn't be or where they endanger themselves or the crew. And when it comes to crew, well, you need grips to move things around. You need electricians for the lighting, and then you need the camera crew to deal with the cameras. But then you might also need dolly grips who will lay down tracks for the dolly. So if you want camera movement, so there's that. Then there is the production department that will like, handle the sets, make the sets how you want them to look. And then there's also the costume department who handles the costume. And then you may, depending on the kind of scene, you may need like multiple sets of the same costume in case something bad happens to like, one, or like you spill in the scene, something spills, but you need several takes. So you need a different costume for each take of that. So there's that. And then there's catering involved. So your set doesn't leave and might never come back at, when they have to eat for lunch, or even dinner, if the filming goes on too long. And then there's, and that's just the production. And then there's the post-production in which you have to handle, the editing, somebody to do the cuts, and then a sound engineer to integrate the sound. You might need a composer, to compose any original music for it. And then there's the visual effects, if you have any visual effects in your movie. And then, but in order to get all that done, and it's the most difficult part of producing a movie, is finding people to pay for it.
Yes.
Because everybody who I said, like all those jobs, they need to get paid for it beforehand. So you need to find investors, people who are willing to risk their money to make this movie that may never make any money back. So that is how tough it is to make movies nowadays. And it can be difficult even just to make the lowest, like a no budget movie. That can be tough. Because you have to find all the people to do all the jobs I just said, but not get paid, which is even harder. So yeah, I can understand the tenets of Dogma 95 wanting to bring like those costs down to make a movie so that more movies, more artistic movies can be made. So there's that I wanted to talk about. And then another thing I want to talk about, well, I'll get to this next. I'll get to this next. Because this is just a tangent. You mentioned literary fiction.
Uh-huh.
I kind of have a beef with literary fiction and the people who write it. Because and it's surprising because I've been wanting to talk about what really grinds my gears about literary fiction for a while. You just gave me the perfect excuse to.
Go for it. Go off.
And so for those who don't know, literary fiction is like, what is literary fiction? Well, not even people who write literary fiction can really tell you. But like two good rules of thumb for it is that number one, it's not genre fiction. And number two, it is character-driven stories rather than plot-driven stories. And what really grinds my gears is when people think that those are two separate things. Like you can't have character-driven stories in a genre story. Because I was on a writing subreddit and someone talked about fantasy and they were like, I have a fantasy story, but it's not really a fantasy story. It's more of a literary fiction story in which but that takes place in a fantasy setting, kind of like J.R.R. Tolkien. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Lord of the Rings is not literary fiction. Lord of the Rings is fantasy. It's just that it's very well written fantasy. It is character driven. It's a character driven story. But it's also a plot driven story. Like everything about that happens in the Lord of the Ring, like the entire plot of that story is trying to get the One Ring to Mount Doom to destroy Sauron. So that's a plot. Lord of the Rings is a plot driven story. So it's not literary fiction, but it has these great characters. So that's what grinds my gears. That's what grinds my gears. Because that kind of thinking, in regards to genre. Genre stories are just plot driven, as if they can't have compelling characters, which is fucking bullshit. And it wants to put fantasy and sci-fi and other speculative fiction genres back into the ghetto, where it's used to being, which, the sci-fi fantasy ghetto, that's a term. Back when those genres were considered very disreputable to write for, which they no longer are as much because people enjoy them so much. And to say that you can't have, to say that fantasy stories with great written characters don't count as the fantasy genre, is utter idiocy to me. It's something I feel very strongly about. I don't know if you can tell. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity to fucking rant about that fucking bullshit, Daniel. Thank you.
Well, it is your podcast, Stephen, as much as it is mine, if not more so.
Yeah.
So what else do white men create podcasts for but to rant?
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm glad that I could rant about that, because now I don't have to rant about a certain donut and coffee shop $5 to $6 meal deal. I was going to rant about that. A certain donut and coffee provider. Their $5 to $6 meal deal. I had a whole rant planned about that, but that's a bit more of a stretch to apply to this movie podcast. So I'm glad I could rant about something that's more relevant to the discussion at hand. So,
I mean, I think that's pretty relevant too. A lot of film sets need to survive. And coffee is a part of the film culture, I would say. But I want to comment on your rant.
Okay.
Because I agree with what you're saying as far as genre films are in no way less artistic than, or genre stories. Genre stories are not less artistic than like literary fiction stories, whatever that means. But it's sort of like an attitude, like literary fiction can be viewed as, very high class, very elitist, very educated and posh, and kind of like all those words, kind of gate-kept, I guess. But it also can be viewed negatively as snobby, and it's like a double-edged sword. It's like people can see it as snobby, and it can be snobby, but it can also not be snobby. It can also be people just trying to genuinely express themselves in a way that they feel is true to them. So it's like, I think it's all about attitude as a viewer and as a creator and artist. It's like, if you're an artist, make what you want to make, period. If you want to make genre things, make genre things. If you want to make character-driven genre things, make those. If you want to make character-driven, plotless, incest stories about schizophrenic people who are not doing too well and who have a lot of blind friends and things like that, do it, but don't do it because you're trying to impress the academic world or the artistic world or anything. Do it because you have a desire in you to make that movie. So that's my thoughts on that. It's like, if you're trying to have a superiority complex about about these types of art films or literary fiction, then get off your high horse. But I also don't think there's anything wrong with trying to push the envelope on what makes a piece of art in a certain medium, or I don't think there's anything wrong with making those types of stories or art pieces, as long as that's what you want to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kind of reminded me. There is I found this story on, I believe it was TV Tropes, because I was researching wuxia movie stories. Chinese, they're basically medieval Chinese fantasy stories, but more in the vein of superheroes. And there's apparently this story that is a deconstruction of those, where this young man, his father gets killed like bandits or something. So he decides to become a wuxia, hero. I think he gets like his father's old sword. And then he just wanders around in the wood for a while. And he tries to become like, a master swordsman. And like his sword is like called the Plum Blossom Sword or something like that. And then someone points out that what's the spots on his dad's old sword aren't plums, it's just spots of rust. And so that's a story that apparently, like, I don't know that genre well enough to really appreciate it, but that one's clearly a deconstruction of wuxia stories. And the reason why I bring that up is because you mentioned, like, if you want to have a hero wander around for a while, apparently wuxia is a very good genre for that. That's apparently one of their the tropes for that genre. Yeah. So the reason why I bring that up is because there are stories like that, apparently. Because I guess in those stories, a hero wanders around, comes across a mentor, or either trains himself in the woods very rigorously until he is able to attain the level of skill necessary to vanquish his enemies and get his and avenge his loved ones. So yeah, there are stories out there like that. But you mentioned like another thing you mentioned was like, don't do things for critics.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Don't look it up. But what do you think is the critic meter for this movie on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, I actually saw it. Well, I don't know if it's the critic meter or the audience meter, but I saw 29%.
Yeah, it's 29% critics. Okay, but do you remember the popcorn meter?
No, I didn't see the popcorn meter. What was the popcorn meter?
Take a guess.
Like 10% or some shit.
Okay, so you say 10%. It's actually 71.
Oh, wow. Okay.
71% of audiences and that's with 5,000 plus ratings. 71% of them like this movie. And I now know, like, there's other evidence for this out there in the world, but this just confirms that we are in the worst timeline. Because I don't understand that. I really, like, I'm literally dumb. When I found this out, I was literally dumbfounded. Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand why. Well, I mean, I'm surprised that only 29% of critics like this movie. I thought it would be higher. But number one, that over 5,000 people rated this movie, for one, and then that number two, 71% of them enjoyed it. I am agog at that. Like, I don't understand that. Because like, and the only thing that I can figure out of like what the reason why is because,
Mm-hmm.
now, you know me, like I'm a progressive, I'm kind of a populist, I'm for, the common good for the most who need it, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of guy. Um, but man, not to insult the masses. But like maybe like this movie is what a lot of people think is an art film, or like what an art film should be, or it's either that, or more seriously, what it is what Harmony Korine has done with this movie, is that he has taken the veneer of pretentious art films and he has applied it to the lowest common denominator. And that's pretty much the only way that I can imagine that, number one, 5,000, not only at that 5,000 plus people have seen this movie, but also that they voted that they enjoyed it. Do you have any thoughts on that, Daniel?
Yes, I think I don't know what to say other than I think that I enjoyed this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But enjoy is a term that can be used in a lot of ways. I say it as a way of, I thought this movie was artistically valuable,
Uh-huh.
and I got something out of watching it. I felt something. It made me think things. It made me feel. Yeah, I already said feel, but you know what I'm saying. It made me feel
Mm-hmm.
things, and it made me think things. And I would fight for this movie to exist. Much harder than I would fight for Righteous Kill to exist. Like, you know what I'm
That is
saying?
fair. That's fair.
Like I'm so much more glad that this exists than Righteous Kill exists, where
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just churned out of a
This
machine and,
mhm.
go ahead.
This movie definitely has much more artistic intent to it than what Righteous Kill had. I do agree. Yeah. Yeah. But
Um,
and I think
yeah.
like I think another reason why this movie may resonate so well, or not so well, maybe not so well, but so much with audiences, is because um the I think the major theme of this movie is trauma. Um
Mm,
and like, this is a feelings based movie in that um it seeks to, as you have said, evoke emotion and reaction more than be coherent or like
mhm,
abide by a typical story structure. And so the feelings of trauma that this movie evokes in audiences is what they react to. Um and since everybody, suffers trauma, it's very easy to react to it. And but like, it's not like a Hallmark movie. And so maybe audiences aren't used to having their um I almost want to say they aren't used to having their emotions manipulated in the way that this movie manipulates them. Does that make
mhm.
sense?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, film is I guess a lot of art, a lot of, I would say art in general kind of is manipulative. It is,
Mhm.
I want you to feel something or think something when you
Yeah. Yeah,
interact with
I
this
don't
piece
I
of
don't say
art. I want,
manipulate as a pejorative. Like, I'm just saying that this movie, that is what this movie is doing. And yeah, you're right. In one way or another, all art manipulates the audience. So
Yeah, like I think of Alfred Hitchcock talking about his movies, which he didn't think of as art necessarily all the
Hmm.
time. Like he thought of them as more entertainment.
Yeah.
Um, but he was all about manipulating the audience. Like
Yeah.
I want that to play their emotions like an instrument. I want them to feel scared. I want them to feel anxious. I want them to
Hmm.
feel um all these feelings at these moments with the sound, with the lighting, with the action going on in the characters. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought, but um, I just think that yeah, no, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh.
That's okay. This is the perfect movie to talk about in that way.
um, but I agree that this is a movie about trauma, and I think um, it also it's interesting. It's interesting because I've watched a couple interviews with Harmony Korine,
Hmm.
and he thinks a lot conceptually about film as an art form, um, which I appreciate. Um, like he talks about, I think it was the behind the scenes for Gemo, um, where he talks with um um oh my goodness, what is his name? He's in this movie, Werner Herzog. He talks with Werner Herzog about movies, and he's like, yeah, I mean, if you watch, also it's the story of Harmony Korine is so interesting. He's like he wrote a screenplay when he was like still in his teens. He was like 18 or 17 or something like that. And the screenplay got turned into a movie, which turned out to be a success, even though it was made on a low budget. That movie was Kids, started a lot of people's careers. Um, and it was very controversial, which, is also a through line in Harmony Korine's work, is controversy,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
sort of uh, shock value.
Hmm.
But he was talking those behind the scenes about like, because he was a movie nerd, and he was like, yeah, I watched like D.W. Griffith's like Birth of a Nation, and like all the way back then in like the 1920s, like all the story structures and plot structures and camera techniques, it's all there pretty much. Like the entire catalog of film movement and stuff is there. Um, even though this is not commenting at all about the contents of the movie Birth of a Nation, which is
Right, right,
extremely
right.
racist and white supremacist, but he was just kind of talking about as an art form, he wanted to find ways to progress, but he was trying and struggling to do that, because it's all been done. Um, so yeah, I think that's kind of his motivation, especially in his earlier films, was to try and push the envelope and find a different way to use film.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, yeah, I also I have that urge as well in some ways. Kind of.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand what you mean. Like, because art forms, they need to be experiment. They need to be experimented on. It's important to always be innovating. Now, as an artist, I don't mean like specific artists always have to be innovative. They don't. Um, but there must be artists within every art form willing to try to experiment and try to innovate so the art form can be constantly evolving. Um, and yeah, it's clear that Harmony Korine is absolutely one of these experimental, filmmakers, willing to try something um for the sake of the experiment. So,
Um,
yeah.
So the story of Harmony Korine, I kind of started it was he started out very young, and then I think he got picked up by a producer, who was kind of like his mentor and like protector in a way.
The first time in
his-
Hollywood that's ever happened.
Almost, yeah, which is really interesting. Hold
on, let me laugh at my joke.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh. Oh, okay.
At least, again, this is all depending on how you look at it, and I could be wrong about all of it, and it's also about a white guy in the 90s and stuff. So,
yeah.
Who knows? It could be myth. But the story goes is that kind of this producer, saw his talents and his artistic inclinations and was like, I'm going to try and let this kid do what he wants. And, and it also happened to be the 90s. So it was like, Miramax and stuff, which comes with a lot of baggage too.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's the birth of the Stindy era where you have big studios backing independent. I won't say independent filmmakers, but filmmakers with independent emulations. Let's say where where they don't make an indie movie, but they make movies that feel like they're independent movies.
Yeah, or at least they try to be artistically free.
Yeah.
Or at least more artistically free than studio movies typically are.
Yeah.
So Gummo was this like crazy passion project, and it's very weird, but it's very raw, and I think this movie was a continuation of that, just trying to be raw and yeah, I don't know. I kind of forgot what I'm saying, but
no, I get it.
It's fun to look at.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that sometimes when you have an artist, sometimes the best way to support them is to just stay out of their way and then let them do what they want to do. Like if they make mistakes, then those are mistakes that they have to learn on their own. And when they're not mistakes, then that's another, then they innovate, So yeah, it's good that he had that kind of support when he needed it the most. So and that there was someone, in the film industry at the time who recognized that.
Yes. Also, I want to kind of say some fun facts that I saw, which may or may not be true, that I just saw on IMDb.
Okay.
As I was looking at the movie.
Okay.
It's mainly comments from people, so I have no idea how true this stuff is.
Well, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. So, or a low listener, a very low listen to movie review podcast.
Exactly. So actually, I'm just going to read some of these IMDb comments for you because this is a podcast and there's low stakes and we can do what we want.
That's absolutely right.
Over the course of this 25-day shoot, Harmony Korine amassed 86 hours of footage, which then had to be cut down by his editor into the final 101-minute film. The first cut, however, was 6.5 hours long. I don't know who wrote these comments, but okay. The character of Julien is based on Harmony Korine's schizophrenic uncle Eddie.
Okay.
Brother of his father. During the preparation for the film, Korine
Mhm.
had Ewen Bremner meet his uncle and later listen to audio tapes of him to gain insight into the role.
I just want to say real quick that I'm very sure that our friend of the podcast we have had on as a guest before, Carlos Rivera, he would absolutely want to see that 6+ hour cut of this fucking movie. I'm sure.
Yeah, me and him did watch an 8-hour movie. I think it was Russian. I don't remember. Called Satan Tango by the filmmaker Bela Tar. We watched it in 2 sittings, and we watched it because it was 8 hours. So it's kind of like, a gimmick.
Yeah, you
but
guys
also,
knew what
it was
you were getting
pretty good movie.
into. Yeah, you guys knew what you were getting into.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was so funny when he was here. Because we told him that we have a rule. Well, or rather, I have a rule that if you watch a movie that's over 2 hours long, like we need permission for it. Like, and it's also another kind of tit for tat thing we do where if Dan picks a movie over 2 hours long, then I'll pick a movie that's over 2 hours long. And so Carlos was like, well, what you do, Dan, is you let Steve pick 4 movies that are over 2 hours long, and then you make up for it with that one 8-hour movie.
Yeah, I would never do that because I am not qualified to talk about Satan Tango. I think only someone like Carlos is qualified to talk about it because there's so much going on politically at the time that it's talking about. But it was an interesting movie.
Yeah. That might be his next guest pick.
Okay. I'm gonna read some more of this because I think it's really fun and interesting. Sorry that it might be annoying.
No, go for it. It's fine. Great.
After completing a Dogma 95 film, directors must write a confession to their fellow members, explaining the ways in which they have broken the dogma. Vow of chastity in his confession for film, Harmony Korine wrote that Chloë Sevigny is not really pregnant for the film. She's wearing a pillow. The film was shot from a 124 scene treatment of sorts, essentially only general descriptions of scenes. The sound of hard wind is all it says for scene 8. In scene 58,
real quick.
Brother. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick. You mentioned how it's based off of a treatment. Of just like quick scene descriptions, right?
I think so, yeah.
I have in my notes, this is like watching Curb Your Enthusiasm from hell. And when I say hell, I mean something much, much worse than hell. Like it's but it did remind me of Curb Your Enthusiasm because I could tell that all this shit was improv. Like, it wasn't, actually written down. And for those of you who don't know, what's his face? He is my avatar on the HBO for my profile. On the HBO app.
What's his face? Larry David?
Yeah, Larry David. And so the reason why all that happened is Larry David co-created Seinfeld with Jerry Seinfeld. And the key to the success of that show is just how tightly written it is. Like, it's very, each episode is very, very intricately written so that all the plot lines like flow and coalesce together. So with Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David created that as an experiment in which he wanted to see like how loose a comedy show could be written. And so And so shoots when he shoots an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, what he does is he just writes general descriptions. He goes over it with all the actors, and they'll do a whole bunch of takes, improv, and then an episode is found in the editing room when he keeps whichever takes that he wants, and so it's there isn't any scripted dialogue. It's all improv, and so yeah, that reminds me of that, and like I could see the connection of improv in that movie and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. And that is honestly one of the things I like least about this movie is just watching actors improv and struggle.
Well, well, yeah, because improv, it's very easy to do improv with comedy. Because any incongruity makes it funny. Well, to paraphrase from The Accountant, it's funny, it's incongruous. And so that's why it's very, very relatively easy to improv with comedy, because any incongruity with the improv is what makes the humor. However, I think with every other type of genre, drama, horror, and what have you, it's a lot more difficult to improv a scene, because you do need to have like some kind of coherency for that genre, because and any incongruity will break it, which is what happened to me. I found scenes either funny when they shouldn't be, but I think Harmony Korine knew that and was okay with it, like kind of shitting on himself a bit with that. So it's either unintentionally funny to an audience member, or audience members don't care because they realize that what they're watching is nonsense, in a way, because there's nothing structured to keep it congruous. I don't even know if that's a word, but or coherent with each other. To keep there's no structure to keep it coherent with itself, which is why you stop caring, because it's nonsense. So
yeah, and I think that's all fair. That is one of the things I like least about it, is just kind of watching Werner Herzog repeat himself over and over, like, tell him to slap himself, tell him to slap himself, slap yourself, and just like however, it is very funny in parts, like you were saying, like just Werner Herzog in this movie is so funny.
But he's
like,
not.
He's just like in his.
But it's I mean, like, is it meant to be a comedy? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't a comedy. It's actually really fucking sad.
Oh no.
But like the insanity that we see is what makes it funny. Even though the insanity is like sad, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
It does. I'll say that this movie is intentionally absurd, I think.
Yeah.
Or it is with the ethos of absurdism and sort of postmodern, just like throw everything against the wall. So like
yeah, and see what
because it accepts that it is absurd. I think that it knows that it's funny, and weird and interesting. It's entertaining as well, but it knows that it's not like entertaining in a usual way. But so I think I don't know. I think that you can react to this movie however you want to, and you can laugh. I don't know if it was intentionally supposed to be funny or not. I think I feel like it kind of was, or like you said, it was knowingly could be seen as funny. Um,
I think it's like that thing where I haven't seen it yet. But what is it? This Is the End. Um,
uh-huh.
and I've heard that and like that's one of those comedies where it's scripted but also improv.
Mm-hmm.
And the filmmaker, the director, um, he pushed every like main cast in that, all the actors of the main cast. He tried to push them as far as he could. Okay. Which I find funny.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I get it. Like, it's a little joke. Like, you're kind of being a little jokey with the movie. And I heard that eventually, every actor on the main cast, they reached a breaking point where they would say, "No, I'm not gonna do that." except for James Franco.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yes. Which normally I would say that that would be helpful to an actor, but then when there are other extenuating circumstances, then having that much spirit as an actor will not help you. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Also, okay, I want to talk about the way that this movie views sort of society's freaks, society's outcasts.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because uh I think Harmony Korine gets a mixed or bad rap in that people look at his movies and they think of them as shock value and gross out shock kind of thing. But like it's also he's just capturing things the way they are sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Um and that's, not true in every instance, but like he looks at the ugliness of the world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Um I don't know if it's exploitative, but I will say when watching this movie, when watching Gummo, which I want to make you watch eventually,
Mm-hmm.
um it he I feel compassion towards these people, and I feel that the author of the film is compassionate towards these people. I don't think that it's handled with uh how do I say it's handled tenderly in a way. Like it's handled um intimately, and I don't think it's exploitative. Like we see Julien like washing this blind handicapped girl's like feet, and it's weird that that's the situation that they ended up in anyways. Like I don't know how that worked from a real life perspective, how that would happen, but you know they're just talking and interacting, and she's just sharing her real thoughts and her real opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a lot of that from other people in the community that Julian's character is a part of. This community of handicapped people or blind people or different things. Like we get people talking about their stories, and that's when it feels part documentary, and it feels valuable to me in that way too. Like I it's interesting. He chooses people because they're strange looking or strange sounding or whatever. They have different attributes, but he also kind of like empowers them in the same way, in the same
Mm-hmm.
time. Like the blind girl is a dancer, and there's lots of shots of her dancing, and it's not like making fun of her or anything like that with the camera. It's like gracefully showing this like little girl who's blind and disabled, like just dancing. Or like there's like a blind, I think he's blind. The it always gets stuck in my head after I watch this movie, but I'm a black albino straight from Alabama, way down south, and you know
Yeah.
that I'm a black albino
Yeah.
straight from Alabama, way down south, then you know that I'm a
Hmm.
which there's a black albino in this like group, and he's rapping, and he's really good at certain points, and he's expressing himself, he's making art, he's helping others express themselves, he's encouraging people. Like, it's just like beautiful to see these groups of underrepresented people represented and shown, and it's just cool. It's just cool, and it's I think it's beautiful. And I think that's another part of this film that I find valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. Just now, because I didn't want to forget it while you were talking, I wrote down, Harmony Korine gives a voice to the underclass, underserved by society.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be another reason why 71% of the audience like, views this movie positively. Because and because I won't say, because this is a movie, not a documentary. um it's still contrived, but it still feels genuine, the way that the underserved in this movie are presented. Because like you said, yeah, he has there's a black albino rapper, but there is also a man who is born without arms. So he does everything. He picks up, we see him drinking from a coffee mug with his feet. And talking. Doesn't he also play the drums, or is that someone else?
Yeah, he plays the drums, and
Okay.
there's like a black woman dancing to his drums, and he's like
Yeah.
having the time of his life.
Yeah. And so, you mentioned the Freaks and Outcasts. Well, there's actually the movie Freaks, which the intention of that movie was to do something very similar. Give voice to the underserved underclass, usually from disabilities and what have you, of which the eponymous Julien Donkey Boy certainly is one of those.
Yeah, yeah.
And because like, it's not schmaltzy like what a Hollywood movie would be. It's a more genuine um depiction of the people underserved by society. I think that is what resonates with the audience who enjoy this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But now I kind of want to see a remake of what is it, The Blind Side, done by Harmony Korine.
oh my god.
It's got to have Sandra Bullock in it too. Like,
Oh no. Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
Oh god. I've seen that movie way too many times.
I haven't seen it at all, but I don't need to.
Well,
Really
that
don't.
movie is so problematic in so many ways.
I'm sure.
But anyways, uh, um, let's see. Oh, let me finish reading some of those fun facts, and then
Okay.
maybe I can read some notes, and then we can be done soon if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I can talk about this movie for a while. Like, there's enough to talk about.
Oh, whatever you want to talk about, dude. Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um. So the film was shot from a 124 scene treatment of shots, essentially only general descriptions of the scenes. The sound of hard wind is all it says for scene 8. In scene 58, Julian's brother tries again in vain to kill the swan. All the dialogue was improvised by the actors except for one scene where Julien is talking to his dead mother on the telephone. Which I think is interesting that they wrote that part out beforehand or, practiced it or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
To achieve the film's unique look, the video was transferred onto 8mm stock before being blown up to a 35mm using an optical printer. So I don't know if that means it was shot on 8mm and then blown up or what. I think that's what it's trying to say.
I think, well, I don't know for sure either because, this movie, I don't think any of the Dogma 95 movies like perfectly follow it. But one of the rules of Dogma 95 is that it be shot on Academy 35mm. So maybe what happened was it was shot on 35mm, transferred to 8mm, and then that 8mm got blown up. Does that make sense?
It does. I just don't know. I don't think that's what I think that would be insane because if they shot
this movie's insane, Daniel.
Yeah, no, but I don't think that they would be able to do that because if they shot 86 hours of footage on 35mm film, this movie would cost so much money. And it says that on another one of these things, it says that
well then maybe it was, well, I don't know.
It could be. Oh, it would be very, very wild if that's true.
Well, then it's probably not. I mean, because this, I think this. I'm not sure. I don't want to say how much it cost. How much did it cost?
Here, I'm looking at another comment. Let me read this. Harmony Korine was invited by Dogma 95 co-founder Lars von Trier to Copenhagen to use his post-production facilities, effectively upping this $1 million budget by about 50%. So, if it was made for $1 million, then there's there's zero way that this was shot on 35mm.
On the Wikipedia, it says that the film, let's see, the film was shot on mini DV tape. The film was transferred to 16mm film before being blown up to 35mm. So, yeah, first it was on tape, then it was 16mm, and then it was 35mm. Which sounds about right. Because this, the look of this movie is definitely one of more of a cassette than anything else. So
yes, yeah.
Which, gives it the look that the movie is definitely going for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I think that's enough of the trivia for now.
Okay.
Let me read through some of my notes.
Okay. Sounds good.
If that's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to read through my notes because what the hell, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
Lamb of God, you take away our sins. Have mercy on us. So this is when Julien, I don't know, that part is so strange to me whenever it's like the first scene of the film. It looks like Julien kills a kid.
Yeah.
And then covers his body in like mud and then runs away, which is never brought up in the movie and for the rest of the movie, but it certainly makes you feel something right off the bat.
It also kind of sets the tone for the movie in a way.
Oh yeah.
Because they're talking about turtles and then all of a sudden the guy, just straight up, gacks this kid. Feels sorry for it, prays to God about it, covers them up with mud and hopes it all goes away while he runs away, which,
yeah.
Sets a tone. It sets a tone.
It for sure sets the tone. Okay. We see it's interesting that the camera is strapped to Julian's back and his, chest. which is an interesting filmmaking technique that happens sometimes, but it's used in this movie interestingly.
For point of view shots.
Not exactly point of view shots, but like in that scene, like after the first shot, he's walking through he's like bewildered and kind of walking through the city, and the camera's like looking directly at Julian's face, and it's strapped to his chest and secured to him. So his movement and the camera's movement are like in unison. So the background is kind of just weird, but his head is
like
still...
kind of like there's a clip of Will Smith using that one rig where he's like shooting through some bad guys and it's his point of view, and then he flips the camera to look at him. So so it then turns to his point of view, kind of like that, without the flipping.
Kind of like that, yeah. Except when it's on his bag, it's literally just the view of the back of Julian's head.
Okay.
So I don't know, just interesting.
Well, I must admit I was second screening during this movie, so there's a lot of visuals I could have missed out on because of that.
How dare you?
Oh, I dare very easily, sir, with this particular piece of cinema. I dare very easily. Oh God.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep reading through my notes. We cut to Werner Herzog in his bedroom listening to the TV, and it's like a old bluesman. I didn't look up who was the musician, but it's like a song called, I think, or at least the lyrics are, "Who will rock the cradle when I'm gone?"
Okay.
Just interesting, and fun music, good music, upsetting music, whatever. Hail Lord Julien. I forget what he was doing, but Julien was like talking to himself in the mirror or something. And I just wrote, this movie is so unsettling.
Yeah.
Let's see. He has grills. Julien has grills, fronts that he wears throughout most of the entire movie.
Yes, he does.
And they're like, take your teeth out, Julien, for supper. And so he takes them out and like puts them in his juice. And he's like, Chris got me my fronts for my birthday. And then it's just so funny to watch Werner Herzog improv because he just starts telling stories about like Russian queens.
There's a part where he's talking about something like in German. But like but it sounds like he's like talking to somebody on the phone and then telling them the story, and then within the story he talks about another story in German. So yeah.
It's so funny. It's just so funny to watch him be in a movie like this. It's so funny. Everything he does in this movie is hilarious.
We're gonna watch Jack Reacher at some point in this podcast. So
if you choose Jack Reacher, I'm gonna pick a Herzog film.
Okay.
Because there's a Herzog film. I haven't seen that many Herzog films, but the ones that I have seen, I've really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And one is absolutely batshit crazy that I want to make you watch.
Well, Werner Herzog is also in the first season of The Mandalorian.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Which a little amazing to me. Like it's amazing to me that he's in Jack Reacher.
Yes. Well, okay, it is, but then you think about it, and if there's a part in this movie where he's at the dinner table and Julian's like, midnight chaos, midnight, afternoon chaos, midnight chaos, evening chaos, and he's like, I'm making a poem, Dad. I'm making a poem, and Werner Herzog is like, this poem is despicable. It's because it's too artsy fartsy. You know what is true poetry is the film Dirty Harry, the Clint Eastwood film.
Yes, he
in
does.
The final bit of the film, they're having a shootout, and they're just shooting each other, and they're missing each other, and
no, but
Harry is filled with contempt.
But that can't be like how he really feels about that movie. It really can't be. I think he's taking a piss on Dirty Harry fans when he says that. Like, pointing out how they're shooting at each other but keep missing.
I don't know. The thing about Werner Herzog is that he's really interesting. Like, he has this very like strange macho attitude towards film. It's very funny and psychologically interesting. Like, that's just kind of his personality. He might be taking a piss at it, but also he did, take a boat up a mountain because he didn't want to pussy out and make a model of it going up a mountain. Like,
well, yeah, but that's pretentious like movie shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's different.
Yeah, but yeah. Well,
that's different than like, hey, I love shootouts where people don't die,
Yeah, but I think that's why he took the part in Jack Reacher, because he likes playing, a villain that like, or things like that, like he's just
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. I'm gonna bleep that out.
Right.
That's the best part of the Yeah, no spoilers for Jack Reacher. If you know, you know. So
I don't know. I think that he really does like Dirty Harry. That's what I'm going to say. I think he does like Dirty Harry. I think Werner Herzog as a person likes the movie Dirty Harry.
I mean, it could be, like with me, like, the kind of the same way that I am, where I absolutely love genre films, but I make more character driven stuff. It could be that kind of thing with him.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Okay. Also, okay. The other thing about Harmony Korine is it's always interesting to watch his movies and talk about race in his movies, because that's interesting too. I think that's like part of the, his looking at society and the underserved and things like that. Like, because we have a scene where the whole family, Julian's whole family, is at like a Black Baptist church, just like partaking in the church service, like, and it's not making fun of it. It's not
no
critiquing it at all. They're all like, like Werner Herzog is like getting into it. He's like bobbing his head. Like, Julien is clapping and singing along, and like Chloë Sevigny is like rocking back and forth, and like we get to see like a beautiful service, beautiful performances, and they're in the special thanks. Like, the church is in the special thanks of the film. So it's like it's another interesting way that the movie looks at the world. Yeah. And there's a adorable part where they're in the black church, and Werner Herzog is like leaning over the pew, to the pew behind him, and he's like playing with this adorable little baby.
Okay.
It's just fun to watch. Okay, let's see.
those are words that I would never say about this movie. Fun to watch.
What do you mean? There's like an adorable baby and Herzog is like playing with him with like the baby's grabbing onto Werner Herzog's finger and like just like watching. Anyways, it's just...
Yeah, but that would require me to actually pay attention to what's going on the screen throughout the entire fucking film, which I could never fucking do, Daniel. I could never do that.
Okay, well, do you remember this part, Steve? Do you remember the Hasidic boy arguing with Julien?
Yes, I have part of that in my notes. If you don't want to stop, then I'm going to curse you out in Yiddish. Which I wish they did. Like, if this movie had a kid cursing him out in Yiddish, I would have rated this like 10 no notes. just, just give me a short movie about a kid cursing an adult out in Yiddish for about 5 minutes, and I'll be happy. Yeah.
Oh God, it's so funny. It's
Yeah.
so funny. Julien is like trying to convince him to like wear these like flip flops with ice skates attached or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And the Yiddish boy is just like, or the Hasidic boy is just like, I don't know. He's just like having none of it and just trying to watch people ice skate. And he's eating his ice cream cone. And Julian's like, "Can I have some of your ice cream cone?" He's like, "No, absolutely not. I'm gonna throw this on the floor and make you eat it off the floor if you don't stop annoying me." Like, yeah, it's just very funny, very very funny. A couple interesting lines that I wrote down are, Chloë Sevigny, the character Pearl, is talking to the blind girl who's the ice skater, and the blind girl is saying, "I used to think that I could see a lot, but then I found out my vision was slim to none." And Chloe or Pearl is like saying, "Wow, interesting." She's kind of like, "So if no one would have ever told you, you wouldn't have known that you were blind." It's just like a interesting philosophical, loaded sort of statement. Yeah, and whenever, I mean, we have to talk about the final bit of the movie because I think that is the most, it's where the plot actually finally pays off, in a way. It's very upsetting. It's very impactful. Whenever Pearl, the pregnant character, falls on the ice and like she starts screaming, like it's genuinely hard to listen to. It's very upsetting to see. Yeah, it's kind of awful. But it's effective at the same time. Yeah. What did you think about that?
Well, you said that this is the part where the plot pays off. But here's the thing, Daniel.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this movie for about an hour and 25 minutes, according to the timer on my recorder. And we've barely talked about the plot of this movie. this, this movie,
That's true.
yeah, doesn't have much of a plot. And like you said, it was hard. But the thing is hard to watch. But the thing with me is, this movie did absolutely nothing to make me care about these characters. And so like, on an intellectual level, I understood like, I mean, number one, if you're a pregnant woman, if you're a woman that pregnant, and by falling, you could have a miscarriage, then why are you fucking skating? Like, why? Why? So that was a bit contrived to me. I mean, like, I know on an intellectual level, I know Harmony Korine tried to make that part as difficult to watch as possible. But the thing is, he made the entire rest of the movie as difficult to watch as possible as well. And so when so that doesn't work. It's like, it's like a boss who emails you, but he lists every email he sends you as urgent. Well, when every email your boss sends you is urgent, then absolutely none of the email he sends you is urgent. So I did not get the same kind of emotional reaction from it that you got. if if you want to you can't. Well, I mean, I'm wrong because apparently it worked on 71% of the audience. But in my mind, if you're gonna have an hour and 40 minutes of nothing but shocking, shock value, which you've mentioned that Harmony Korine has kind of been known for, when you already have an hour and a half of it, and then you have 10 more minutes of shock, then that shock doesn't work,
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So,
That's absolutely valid.
yeah. So,
Okay, let's see. Oh, it was interesting to see people's real reactions as Julien gets on the bus with this miscarried baby,
yeah.
like the public transportation bus. And like there's like a lady he sits down next to and she just looks over and just like gets the fuck out of her seat.
She's been on the public bus before. She knows the correct thing to do.
Yes. Yes. One last interesting thing in my notes was that Will Oldham is thanked in the comments. He's also a musician called Bonnie Prince Billy, and I just think it's weird that there's a crossover here, and that he's actually in this movie. I guess. Just weird. Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Steven, where would you put this on the George Washington scale? Is this the worst film that we've seen so far?
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. Oh geez. Here, let me look it up. Yeah, I think this might be I won't say this is like the worst movie I've ever seen. Because like we mentioned Righteous Kill in like that movie, it doesn't have any artistic merit at all, whereas this movie does aspire to something artistic. But nevertheless, it's just difficult to watch because Harmony Korine like makes it difficult to watch, and so because of that, like, yeah, like I mentioned, we haven't talked about the plot much at all because there is no plot. Like, it's just an there's no long-term story to it. It's just one episode. It's not even an episode. Like, it just goes from one scene to the next to the next to the next, just showing like, this group of misfits and people who need desperate in need of publicly provided services that the United States doesn't really provide. And because of that, yeah, I would probably rather watch any other movie. Maybe even Big Gold Brick, because as terrible, as absolutely terrible, that as Big Gold Brick it is, at least, well, I won't say it's coherent, but I will say it is structured.
You will say that it's what?
Structured. There's a structure to it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now that we've gotten the George Washington rating out, I'm good to go whenever you are.
Well, let me go through my notes for a bit. If that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. Werner Herzog. Stop wrestling. It's the end of wrestling. Dingalongalula. We see Julian's man ass. Drinking out of a slipper. Werner Herzog talking on the phone, his face superimposed while two women walk down a sidewalk talking about a Spanish nobleman. Werner Herzog hosing him down outside. Be a man. Just all this moody brooding. I don't like that. Stop that shivering. I don't want you to shiver like that. You're going to be a winner. A winner doesn't shiver. I'm going to do an internal on you, okay? That's from the OBGYN. God is looking on me in disgust. Sometimes I have sinful thoughts said by a cross-dressing, a man cross-dressing as a nun with stockings and spanking himself. The guy with no arms playing cards with his feet with Werner Herzog. He says, you just have to adopt a positive attitude. Werner Herzog, he wraps the cord for blinds at a window around his throat. Werner Herzog tells his son to put on his mother's dresses and dance with him and tries to give him $10 to do it. Another hard day at the jungle, another hard day at the zoo. This is when I wrote down, this is like Napoleon Dynamite on meth. Number one, I don't want all this plastic in my garden. And do you feel like a nana? The mailman, he loves me not. I hate the mailman. You've got to raise up and smoke a cigarette. I don't smoke. You'll learn. Wrestling while wearing a bra. An old woman wears a KKK mask and barks while sitting on a couch with her husband whose head is bandaged. Arguing over bacon with the wrestling guy. She's a dilettante and a slut. If I were as stupid, I'd slap my own face. Werner Herzog being verbally abusive isn't nearly as interesting as Harmony Korine thinks it is.
I agree.
I mean, it's interesting. It's just not that interesting. So that's the end of my notes, except for like one thing I wanted to bring up was like how much this movie reminds me of here, let me look it up. It's how much this reminds me of A Day with the Boys, made by Chloë Gulager.
Okay.
Have you seen A Day with the Boys?
I have not.
Okay. Well, that is very much an artsy short movie. And we'll have to watch it sometime.
Hell yeah.
But if you watch, because that movie is made like with stills, which is done a lot in this movie, done a significant amount. Like it's not, totally made of stills, but has some amount. And then A Day with the Boys, like that is experimental. That's like, it feels like an experimental art film. It's a film that I don't think it has any dialogue. And it is, like this movie more to evoke emotion and even some shock value than anything else. So yeah, we'll have to watch it at some point.
I'm down. Sounds interesting.
Okay, wonderful.
Before you go, a special thank you to our bestest friend of the show, Brian. Thank you, Brian, for supporting Your Movie, My Movie. Now, if any of you would like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/yourmoviemymoviepodcast or leave us a review on whatever you're listening to us on. Thank you for listening and thank you for your support.
All right. Well, is there anything you would like to plug, good sir?
No. Well, let's see. I'm gonna try and make a short film in the next couple months.
Okay.
If you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, or in the area, hit me up if you want to be a part of it.
Okay, where can they hit you up at?
Just on Instagram, just _ Daniel 21. Or if you want to email the podcast, I might see that.
What's the podcast email?
Your Movie My Movie podcast at gmail.com, or is it, no, it's Your Movie My Movie at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Your Movie My Movie at gmail.com.
Okay. What in particular are you looking for?
Specifically crew members. I just want to meet more film related crew people and filmmakers out in the area. If you want to be an extra too, that could be fun. That could work. But yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
How about you, Steve? Any plugs?
Yeah. I can be found at Moonlight Red Creations on Instagram. I'm not very active there because social media is fairly toxic to me. But if you want to follow me, feel free to. And if you want to listen to more of me, I am a performer on Real Play Games podcast, where I play tabletop role-playing games with some of my friends. It's a lot of fun, and I'm very thankful, to have them to play with. So, yeah, you can
It's a
listen
very
to
entertaining
me.
podcast.
You can listen to me there fairly often. I'm not there every episode, but I am there fairly often enough. So, yeah, those are where I can currently be found.
Well, heck yeah.
Okay. So we're done, right? We're done. Or is this over?
It's over.
Is this
It's
finished?
over,
It's
Steven.
finished now, Daniel.
over.
Okay, wonderful. Bye.
Bye.
Hey!